Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Dimitri Krip. I'm Atlassian Apps Marketing Manager here at Divinity. I'm happy that we're together today at this webinar. Before I start, I'd like to ask you a question. You don't have to answer, just think it over for a moment. What is the most important aspect of your project? It is the customers. Any kind of business has its roots in identifying a need or a problem among some part of the society and coming up with a solution to it, which is especially true for software products and IT services. Happy customers drive profit and recognition just because we cared for them and solved their problem. Satisfied customers eventually become our brand advocates. They tell their families and friends about us, they tweet us stars and hearts, and they will defend us against haters, even if they have little problems with our products or if we make a bad decision about them. Think of Apple, Amazon, Zappos, or Disney. What these brands have in common is they are customer-centric at its core, and they are super successful. On the other hand, no happy customers means no profit, which in the end means no business. That's why a community of grateful customers is the most important asset we can have. And taking care of them should be our biggest priority if you want our companies to get to the top. But what exactly makes our customers happy? Just look at the companies I mentioned a minute ago. Apple was the first to create a graphic user interface for an operating system and a mouse type controller, which instantly made personal computers usable to a whole lot more people than before. Amazon started to grow rapidly as an online retailer when they first offered ordering products at the push of a button, tracking them all the way to the doorstep and receiving the very next day. Apple and Amazon took care of their customers and made things way easier for them. So why would their clients ever need to choose anyone else? These companies were so disruptive for their industries that the competition had to keep up with this high level of products and services, and without having done so, Microsoft and eBay would never survive on the market. Now it's actually even more difficult to satisfy our customers' needs as the technology improves and the market becomes more competitive over time. People demand for easily comparing similar products or services by having access to all the information about them, and they often search for this information in multiple places. Moreover, these days it's not even enough to have an innovative product at a low price to get to the top of the marketplace. We need to bear in mind the full customer journey through our products, brand, and people to help them achieve their goals with what we offer. This journey starts from the moment a need for something rises, and it barely ends at the moment they have it delivered. There is no finish line, because when they buy something from us, we still need to be there and help them with any possible issues. So basically, all events experienced by customers interacting with your brand should be thought over to make them happy, starting from finding your website in Google, through the purchase process itself, up to getting help and submitting feedback afterwards. Today, we're going to focus on improving Jira Service Desk experience, which is absolutely crucial for your brand, because your customers often come there when they have problems with your products and services. They are already frustrated and mad at you, so you might want to help them quickly and easily, not to turn the support into another problem. If you fail at this stage, you'll most probably lose a customer. But if you provide them with a clear way to ask for help and all the information during solving their problem, you'll have a chance to regain trust and turn a negative experience into a positive one. As stated in the latest Customer Contact Week report, reducing customer effort during the support process has been the #1 focus for organizations this year. During this webinar, we'll go through each customer's touchpoint in Jira Service Desk server and learn how to customize it. You will know how to apply your brand to the customer portal, show your clients more information, and create user-friendly request forms for them. There will be lots of information, but don't worry, I'll send you the recording of our today's meeting in the follow-up email. After the demo, I'll answer all your questions along with our senior Atlassian Apps Manager, Katarzyna Pawlak. Over 20,000 IT and business teams from all over the world use Jira Service Desk. This service management software is fully ITIL compliant and closely integrated with the rest of the Atlassian stack, helping teams deliver excellent service, collaborate on projects, and create an accessible space even for non-technical users. The use cases can be very different depending on the purpose and actual teams or customers using the solution. However, its out-of-the-box functionality is quite stripped down, which in most cases requires customization and additional features to suit the particular setup. The main problem with Jira Service Desk Server is that without customization, each customer portal looks the same. A common situation is using software provided by multiple vendors. If each vendor had the same looking help center, they would have got confused if one of the apps got broken. How can they be sure that they got to the particular vendor's help center if they are all identical? It's highly important to understand that your service desk is a crucial part of your customer experience, which should be especially easy to use, applied a distinctive brand style, and unified with all the rest of your communication voice and tone. This way, you can ensure that your clients don't get even more angry or confused, and show that you care about giving them a helping hand. So to better our customers' journey through Jira Service Desk, we need to understand what they have to deal with. Basically, all their way from trouble to happiness leads them through 4 different screens. The first one is the Help Center. There, our clients can see all the customer portals which they have permission to send requests to. Each customer portal is dedicated to a separate Service Desk project. The next step on the way is the request form. This screen opens after choosing a request type on the customer portal. There, our customers fill out the needed information and send it over to the support team. After raising a request, our clients are directed to the request detail view. There, they'll see all the information they provided on the previous step. The last screen is My Requests, which is a list of all requests raised by the customers or their organization. I assume everyone here has some experience with Jira Service Desk and is familiar with these screens. So I'd like to ask you 2 questions about your experience so that we all could see on which ones you have the most trouble with customizing. Both questions are multiple answers. Okay, so here we see the results. As far as the screens go, we see the results are pretty even, which is like, wow, just like every screen needs some customization. And if it comes to the customization possibilities, we see that most people are lacking changing pages layouts and showing customers additional information about their requests. Well, these ones are most common, and these are most often requests in our service desk, actually. So yeah, let's go. Let's take a closer look at each of these screens. Let's say we're running a hotel and we want to enable booking rooms and apartments in Jira Service Desk. So, the Help Center is the first touch point for our customers when they meet issues with our products or services. When our customers come here, they see the customer portals they have access to. There is also a smart search where they can look for specific request types or knowledge base articles. On the header bar, they can see how many requests they or their organization have raised, as well as go to the My Request screen with a list of all these requests and check their statuses. However, we can give our customers more enclosure into what they can see on the Help Center. The first thing we can do in the Service Desk project settings is setting up custom request types to make them clear to our customers. We can do that by using keywords or phrases our customers are familiar with for request names, adding explanations to the descriptions, and setting different icons, including the custom ones, which will make it easier for our clients to identify the right request type. An important thing here is that request types do not equal to issue types you see in Jira as an agent. So if you need to have a custom issue type, you will have to set it up separately in the issue type settings. An advantage, though, is that you can assign multiple request types to one issue type. For example, your customers see book a room and book an apartment as separate requests, which fall into the same category for the agents afterwards. Also, we can make it even simpler for our clients by creating request type groups, which will appear besides the request type lists. To add a request type to a group, you either click Edit Groups and then check the ones you need to add it to, or go for Add an existing request type and do it vice versa. The Customer Permissions section gives us the possibility to manage access to customer portals. However, it is somewhat narrow. We can only select who can raise requests on our customer portal. The customers who are added to the project, those who have an account on our Jira site, or just anyone. The possibility to define with whom our clients can share their requests also doesn't have too many options. We can only choose between other customers within their organization, any customer by typing their email address, or any customer or organization by searching in the project. The portal settings allow us to adjust the look and feel of the customer portal and apply the basics of our brand style to it. Here I can see the changes on the fly, which is handy. What we can do here is change the front page title and the Help Center name, or add our logo and brand colors to the header panel. Okay, let's see. I've got some logos here. So we see it here. And an interesting thing is that we upload the logo, Jira can generate a matching color scheme. Unfortunately, it doesn't work for white logos. And if you have specific brand colors, we'd rather set them up manually. Yes. And okay. We can also add announcements, which will inform our customers about the changes in reception working hours or recurring issues that are taken care of and don't need to be reported anymore. Okay. I'll just drop it here. When we're satisfied with what we see, we can connect Jira Service Desk with the knowledge base in Confluence, which basically enables self-service. Customers will be able to find answers for their questions by typing a query into the search bar, provided that you write these answers for them. I haven't Confluence installed on this instance because a hotel doesn't often need one, so I can't show you how to connect the two, but I'll send you the link to the official Atlassian guide in the follow-up email. So we see that Jira Service Desk gives us a range of possibilities to customize our help center, and this way stand out from those of other vendors. We can brand our customer portal, manage default permissions, set up custom request types, or link the customer portal to a knowledge base in Confluence. Even this basic customization makes big difference for how it looks like, but it is still limited. That's why we should turn to additional solutions listed on the Atlassian marketplace. There are many apps which we can use to build an even more user-friendly customer portal. For example, extension for Jira Service Desk. This one gives us more flexibility in managing permissions, for example. We can define which user groups have access to the customer portal, as well as particular request types. Keep in mind that Jira Service Desk Users Group is the default name for your agents and not the customers. As for the visual aspect, we can split the list of our request types into two columns, so there's no more need to scroll down the list in search of the right place to click. Also, we can add helpful external links and present them on the header bar. Those links can be presented in groups, which act as drop-down menus, and you can also restrict their visibility to a particular project or request type. The shared option makes a link visible on every customer portal in the instance, and the global one makes it appear also on the Help Center homepage. Then we can also translate our Help Center using another app, Translation for Jira Service Desk. Those who use the solution may already know that there are native translations available, but they handle only default static text like my requests or create on the server instances. This app enables us to translate both native and custom text on the Help Center to as many languages as there are supported in Jira, and thus to provide our customers with multilingual support. All it takes is to select the desired language, provide the text you want to translate as the key, and the actual translation as the value. The share checkbox is very cool because when you check it, the translation will apply to all Service Desk projects in your instance. This way, we go through all the text we have on the customer portal. So here's how a fully customized customer portal looks like. We see the company's logo and brand colors, custom request types with more of them at a time, but only those you have permissions to, and some useful links on the header panel. If the translation app is used, you can switch languages by clicking the user avatar and selecting the right language in the drop-down menu. What's more, there are solutions on the marketplace which enable us to completely redesign our Help Center, but this is a topic for a whole another webinar. So let's go on and click a request type. Just like different vendors' help centers, request forms need to vary from each other. Otherwise, identical questions for different requests can easily confuse our customers. The default request type view has only summary, description, and attachment fields, which in most cases is not enough to describe an issue completely, and in addition, isn't friendly for the customer. Some of them are even not Jira users, so they will struggle with what to type into summary and description fields without saying that these sound generic and soulless. Okay. However, we should remember about asking the right question as clearly as possible. Imagine that after clicking book a room, the client has to fill in the blanks for due date and credit card number. Why would we need details about our customers' credit cards if they're going to pay by cash? And what the hell does due date mean? Check in or check out? The user will think about the poor support quality if we ask them irrelevant or incomprehensible questions. This is often the last straw on the camel's back, which makes customers go for another vendor. Just for the sake of consistency, if we use clear and user-friendly language on the customer portal, we should also use understandable phrases on the request form. Otherwise, they will have to make much more effort in order to get help. So we should take this effort on our side and customize this part of Jira Service Desk as well. So in the request types section of the project settings, we see the Edit Fields button next to each request type. On the appearing screen, we can add or remove fields from the request form and provide additional instructions for them. What's cool here is that we can change the display names of these fields, which will remain the same on the agent's view. For example, changing summary to which room would you like to book will look much clearer and caring for the customer, but we'll see it as the issue summary anyway in Jira. We can also hide some fields from the form and preset values for them. We may want all the issues from these request types to always have high priority. Relate to specific Jira components or be assigned to the same agent. So we want to add a field to the form, and then we see that the choice is pretty narrow. But there is an explanation telling us that we should add fields to the associated issue type before adding them to request forms. In case of custom fields, this procedure requires one more step, such as creating those fields. We do it in the global Jira administration menu. As we click Add Custom Fields, we need to log in as an admin, and the screen pops up where we can select a field type. There are numerous types of them, from checkboxes and radio buttons, through date pickers and select lists, to number fields and text fields. For text fields, we can set names and descriptions, but we can also define options for fields like checkboxes, radio buttons, and select lists. For example, if you want to know what the payment type should be, we choose radio button and add cash and credit card options. The next step is to associate the field with the right screen. In most cases, the right one will be the Jira Service Desk screen of the target project. We need to remember to scroll down the list of our screens and click Update. Otherwise, the settings won't be saved and we won't be able to add the custom field to the request type. After we add a new custom field, we can add it or configure it to make changes. These two options are often confusing, so I'll explain the difference. By editing a custom field, we can change its field name, description, and search template. When we configure the field, we change the context for it, so we can change to which issue types and projects this field is assigned to, as well as set default values for the options we defined previously and change these options as well. If you want to add multiple fields to a single screen, it's much easier to do by configuring the screen itself. Here we have all our fields, and we can reorder them by drag and drop. When we are done, we go back to the request type settings and add the field to the request form. Now we have a distinctive set of questions for our request type, but it doesn't make things that much easier for our customers. Despite the fact that the fields are assigned correctly, they can make the request form longer than we'd like to. As we see, it should be shorter and user-friendlier, even though it contains only the information that is suitable for the request. We can't change it out of the box, and that's why there are apps available on Atlassian Marketplace that give us this possibility. Extension for Jira Service Desk offers a couple of features to customize and optimize request forms. In the visibility section, which we've already seen, we can define context for showing particular fields and options. For example, when asking to book a room, the users who are in the standard group won't be able to select Spa and Wellness Center field if we limit its visibility to VIP and business groups. The same can go for the Invoice To field, which is usually filled in only by business customers. Then, Dynamic Forms gives us the possibility to configure which fields should show up after selecting an option in the previous field. For example, we want to display budget field after our user selects yes for do you have planned budget. We just add this field to the configuration and assign the budget field to the yes option. The same goes for room facilities and disabled guests. We can assign more than one field to an option, so this feature can shorten the form a great deal. We can also create bundle fields in the administration add-on section, which enables us to add multiple fields to the request form as a single custom field. For example, when we need our user to give us their address, we don't need to create separate fields for full name, phone number, or email address, because we can have all these fields bundled into one. In addition, when the user wants to add contact details of multiple persons, they can simply add rows. This makes the form look more structured and also saves your server resources due to reducing the custom field bloat. Other than that, we can remove None option and optional label for selected fields on the General tab. There is no need for the None option in Rooms select field, is there? And if you have user picker fields on our form, we can define which of them will be filled automatically with the currently logged user. Another app that can help with customizing your request forms is Issue Templates for Jira. With this one, we can create templates for Jira Service Desk requests and set them as default for particular request types. With predefined values for selected fields, the customer will only need to provide the variables that require his input. This way, you can speed up filling in the forms dramatically. Here we have only the summary filled in because the other fields would change depending on the customer. But for other requests, it can be really dramatic with big chunks of text. So let's see. Maybe. So we see, but by customizing the help center and the request forms on it, we can make choosing and submitting an issue in Jira Service Desk really nice and easy. And what happens next? We see the requested tail view, where all the information we provided on the previous step is presented. We see the status of the request, can comment on it, or share with another user or organization. But neither we can edit the field's values, nor see who and when will take care of the issue. If we are short on time, this can be really frustrating. In addition, the default names of statuses from Jira can sound generic and incomprehensible at times, just like system field names on the request form. What can we do to improve this? Actually, quite a lot. If we go back to the Edit Field screen under the request type, we'll see the Workflow Statuses tab. Just like we provided display names for fields on the request form, we can specify display names for each workflow status on a given request type. Of course, you can create custom statuses in the workflow editor, but then their names will be restricted to the issue type. And sometimes you will need them to differ for actual request types, like when you have the same request types in 2 different languages and want your statuses to be understandable in both. Here we have a specific use case of booking a hotel room, so we'll rename the statuses accordingly. That's all Jira Service Desk allows you to do out of the box. But there are marketplace apps that can help us do a lot more. If you go to the General tab, again, of extension for Jira Service Desk settings, we will notice a bunch of things that we can enable customers to see on the request queue. The first one is Show Assignee with context configuration for specific statuses. In addition, we could grab the assignee's contact details from the LDAP server using Active Directory Attributes Sync app and show them as well, but I don't have a remote LDAP server to show you this, so I'll send you an explanation link in the follow-up email. Then we can enable exporting single requests to the doc format, display the issue's attachments, and dates of issue creation, update, or resolution. So, yeah. Here we also restrict access to remove participants on certain request types, which is sometimes needed to prevent unconscious action by a customer. But not only can we show customers who is assigned to the issue, but also when the next response will come, or when the issue will get resolved. By default, SLA metrics were visible only to Jira Service Desk admins and agents, and with the extension app, we can show these metrics to our clients. Here, we match the metrics with the user groups that have the access to them. What's even more, we can show Jira issues linked to the request to keep the customers updated on the work in progress. In the issue links section, we choose which link types to show for each request types and specify which fields to show from the linked issues. Typically, we'd like to display the summary, the priority, and the status, but it's configurable if we need something else. So now we can provide customers with all the needed information about their requests to keep them informed and feel taken care of. But there's still not much they can do on the request view. Basically, what they are left with is commenting and sharing. Fortunately, there is a way to improve this aspect as well and give our clients a more active role in the support process. So with this little thing called Actions for Jira Service Desk, we can enable workflow actions on our customer portal to implement ITIL best practices with this solution. Technically, the app allows to set post functions with additional screens on workflow transitions. Let it load a bit. Okay. So here's my basic workflow for this project. And I can enable actions on any transition here, which I'll show you in a minute. What I want to point at here is that for some actions, we have to create extra transitions from any status to itself. I have two of them here named edit and feedback. When we have the transitions ready, we go to workflow actions setup in the target, in the add-on section, sorry. Here we set up workflow actions and assign screens of fields to them. Be sure to use the correct transitions from the appropriate workflow, because this is global setup. So here's the full list of possible transitions across your Jira. Then provide a display name, the description for the transition screen, and the set of system or custom fields to appear on that screen. With the checkboxes available, we can hide empty fields from the screen. Hide the typed in characters, which is useful with passwords, or make some fields uneditable by selecting read only. After the setup, the customers will see these transitions as buttons on the right side of the screen. The actions will be displayed dynamically according to the current issue status, logged in users' permissions, and other conditions specified for the project. We can also see a lot more information than before: the assignee, created and updated dates, and time to resolution. During the support process, we'll be able to see the attachments and link Jira issues as well. We can also edit the fields specified on the transition. Other possible actions could be closing or reopening the request, making Jira Service Desk a bit more self-service than the default option. Now, let's take a look at the last screen our customers see in this solution. When it comes to the My Request screen, they have to deal with default configuration, which offers searching for requests, filtering, or exporting them. However, these basic functionalities are very limited. There is no possibility to set which columns we want to see, nor sort the requests in these columns. When filtering by status, they can only choose between open and closed. The search only works for issue summaries, which in most cases makes it unusable. Also, Jira Service Desk doesn't give us any possibility to customize this screen natively. But with our newest app, My Request extension for Jira Service Desk, the extended My Request screen is available under the Requests menu as well. We developed this app to enable users to customize the requests list to their needs. They can add columns displayed on this list and drag and drop them to order them as they like. As the app is version 1.1.4 at the moment, not every field is available to choose from. But basically every custom field and most system fields can be used as columns. My Request extension also offers advanced filters. In addition to the default ones, we can filter their requests by exact status and choose a specific service desk where we raise our requests. We are going to increase the number of available filter options in the next releases as well. Other than that, we can sort each column other than customer request type alphabetically and define how many requests will be displayed on one page. The searcher provided by the app is also extended and enables searching through description fields as well. We can also make use of special characters, for example, to exclude expressions from the search results. I'll follow you up with another link where you'll find other possibilities. From the admin's point of view, we only have to define which fields are available for customers to choose from, as well as set which ones are default columns. Also, we can limit the field's visibility for selected user groups, like when we want only our VIP customers to see the budget fields. This configuration is also global, so you can find it in the add-ons section. As a result of this simple setup, my requests list becomes clear and personalized, allowing to display more information and securing some fields at the same time. As I said, this app is in its first versions, so feel free to test it and leave your feedback. It will help us greatly to improve and adjust my request extension to your needs. Let's draw a line under everything we've learned today. The three key takeaways are: we need to bear in mind the full customer journey through our products, brand, and people to help them achieve their goals with what we offer. Jira Service Desk is not just a powerful and flexible ITSM tool. It is an especially important part of our company's customer experience, because often the perceived support quality decides if the customers will stay with us or turn to the competition. The customer journey through Jira Service Desk leads them across 4 critical touchpoints: the help center, the request form, the request detail view, and my request screen, which can be improved and customized to ensure excellent support experience for our customers. Here are the features that can help you achieve that. On the help center, we can apply our company's brand, set up custom request types and advanced permissions, link a knowledge base in Confluence, display more request types without scrolling, add useful external links to the header panel, and provide multinational customers with complete translations. On the request form, we can configure a clear set of questions, make their display dynamic, bundle multiple fields into a single custom field, as well as create request templates and set them as default for specified request types. On the request detail view, our customers can see friendly workflow status names, assignees and their attributes from Active Directory, attachments, important dates, SLA metrics, and linked Jira issues, as well as perform actions on workflow transitions, such as editing or reopening a request. And on the My Request screen, they can add or change the displayed field columns, apply extended filters, and sort the list by any column except request type. According to the State of Customer Experience 2017 report, only 9% of companies agreed they had a consistent and seamless omni-channel customer experience, moving from one touchpoint to the next. Even though a year passed, and many companies declared to improve this aspect of their operations, taking a solid effort to properly set up and customize your customer portal is still an opportunity to gain a strong edge over the competition and make our customers happy even when they have problems with our products and services. As Joe Hossel stated in one of his articles, imperfect software is often more flexible, which makes it better suitable for solving people's problems. It's only a matter of some improvement to make it effective and fully satisfying. There is a whole bunch of decent marketplace apps made by other vendors and Atlassian solution partners, which allow to customize Jira Service Desk Server even more than that. Here's a couple of examples. The Insight app, made by our good friends Riada from Sweden, is an asset management solution inside your Jira. It provides an entire CMDB with an ability to create dependencies between elements. So if customers have a problem with particular hardware or software, they can provide such information on the request form. When I was talking about the Help Center, I mentioned the possibility to redesign it. A possible tool for this is Refined Theme or Jira Service Desk, which adds theming capabilities and rich content modules to the customer portal. And our countrymen Spartus have recently introduced Chat for Jira Service Desk, which is basically a live chat solution embedded into Jira. Live chatting helps support teams solve clients' problems in real time, which can reduce the incoming ticket flow and increase the satisfaction rate a great deal. Now, it's high time for you to ask questions. There was a lot of information during the demo, so our senior apps manager, Katarzyna Pawlak, is here with me today to help make everything clear for you. Please write your questions on the chat in the Q&A section, and we'll go through them one by one until time's up. Okay, so the first question, is it possible to review or replay this presentation afterwards? Yes, as I said, it is recorded and it will be available just right after the presentation. I will send you the follow-up email with all the links I mentioned and this recording as well. I think tomorrow, yes. Okay, can we add attributes on organization using Divinity apps? Kate, say hi to the crowd.
Hi. So I don't know what exactly means attributes. Generally, we have got another section in extension global configuration about user synchronization. So maybe it's this is a question about it. So we can firstly we can add customers to our Jira groups. So thanks to this, we can do it manually because it is automatically. Another thing is about synchronization Jira groups with our organizations. So we can do it also automatically. And everything is connected, in our section user synchronization. So I think that we can also put this information after follow-up email. I mean, fields related to organization. So what we can do with organization, we can remove this option to remove organizations from request detail view. So some Jira groups can do it on this request detail view. So thanks to this, we can avoid any situation that somebody removes some organization and access to our requests.
So the next one is possible to configure subgroups in the customer portal? I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you are asking about request type subgroups. So regarding this one, for now, there is a possibility to create only one level of request type groups. And we know this is a common request, yeah. How to deal with duplicate accounts? This is a great question, which would require a longer rant about this. So I think we'll write just another article about this topic. If Jira is down, is there a way to have a status page display for the customers? Well, this is a common problem with server. If your server is down, then all Atlassian projects are done as well. So the status page isn't available. However, recent solutions like Jira Ops, which were introduced by Atlassian, are cloud only. So with this and using status page cloud as well, you can connect them, and you will be able to display it anyway. Are there any plans to create an app that can copy a service desk queue? We've got a solution for advanced queues. It also depends on where you need to bring this queue. Too many questions, guys. Yeah, we are happy with this. Any suggestions on how to synchronize multiple portals on the same instance? What do you mean by synchronizing multiple portals? How to restrict agents creation? Well, by the agent license, we suppose. And basically, a good practice is to have only one administrator that can create agents and manage licenses. So maybe this is the solution. Can we customize the URL depending on customers? Not right now, but we will talk to our developers, and there was a conversation lately about this. So it will likely be put on our backlog. Okay, related to the question of synchronizing customer portals. Basically, as I showed during the presentation, when you customize the look and feel, you customize the whole help center. So these settings are basically shared across all your customer portals, unless you provide an additional logo or the customer portal name or something like this. Can any fields be bundled together to display horizontally across the request form in the portal? Or can only custom fields be bundled? Kate, can we bundle system fields as well?
No, because technically each custom field in this one custom field isn't another custom field, separate custom field. So we can't do it using any fields or custom fields, because everything we build in this one custom field, which is our bundled field.
I want to do a budgetary control. Is there some plugin for finance management? You could try out Tempo budgets. Basically, Tempo is one of the most prominent vendors on the marketplace, and they have Tempo time tracking, one of the most downloadable apps regarding time tracking. And they also have Tempo budgets, which is for finance management on the project. Yeah. Are there any plans to make extension for Jira Service Desk available to cloud? Yes, we're happy you're asking about this because the first cloud version is almost ready. And we'll release it this year, actually. So before the end of the year. Yeah. How to translate system dashboard? As far as I know, this is a system text. So you just choose a language in your Jira administration settings. And such text should be translated there, I think. The use case provided is related to customer portal B2C. What about B2B service contract? Could you provide us with some concrete use case about this? Is it possible to copy a full project? No. Well, that's an interesting question. If the request can get determined just by the contents of custom fields, how do we handle being able to generate a meaningful summary because it's important for the agent? I'm not sure, but tools like Script Runner should do this. And yeah, that's a topic for another article. This is a really smart thing to be able to do in Jira Service Desk. Yeah. Having static text won't make a meaningful summary, or you will end up with a bunch of tickets with the same summary. Well, not always, because such a setup would be rather dynamic. But as I said, we should check it because we're not sure right now about this. I'm trying to automate requests for the API, but it shows me a CORS policy error. Is it with one of our apps or just basic automation rules? Please specify. Can one of your add-ons do the following based on a GSD customer? Show field values. So customer A logs into the portal and only uses products A and B. In the field, select the affected product. You want to show only value A and B. And customer B logs in, you want to show values A, B, and C.
So yes, you can do it if you have got customers in some Jira groups or in case of organization. So it's connected with user synchronization, and you can define which options will be available for some Jira groups. So you can do it.
So change the status on customer reply. Can this be done through GSD itself, or does it require some sort of add-on? Well, changing statuses is just a basic workflow function. So yeah, JSD just does that, and you can, as I showed, you can change these display names of their statuses. So your agents will see waiting for customer, and your customer will see something else. But if you want to enable your customers to change the statuses themselves, you will need the actions for Jira Service Desk app. How Divinity manage support contracts? Contract attributes will be, for example, start date, end date, account. Well, such a thing can be a bundle field. And if the request will require some document sharing, we can show attachments. So the attachment flow will be also seen on the request view. But then you will need to manage permissions very thoroughly to prevent data leakage. How to create template projects. Are we stuck with 3 defaults? I don't recall right now any kind of project template database. There are add-ons which enable to build like project templates and stuff, but by default, these are only those 3. How can you extract data from the bundle field for using automation?
So it is possible to do it using script runner, and we've already added this information to our documentation how to do it. So you can find some examples, some scripts how to do it using script runner, for example.
Okay, do we have anything on the chat? A major problem is the fact that the customer cannot perform a detailed search on the request page. Yes, it is a problem, but we will improve the My Request extension app, so the searcher would be even more developed, and who knows, maybe someday it will be full text search. Is there a way to make the Service Desk project visible to everyone without logging into the Help Center? Yes, you can do it even with default permissions. But still, to file a request, the customer should provide you with an email address. But they will see the Help Center, yeah. Is it possible to add priority column? We are working on this.
And we will release today a new version of My Requests. So this priority will be also available here. What's more, we added creation date, resolve date, updated date, and due date field also. And we are working on next columns to add.
I have issues with groups in your extension. My company's ID and Jira don't work well. Is there a workaround for this? I suppose we need more information about it. I suggest that you file a ticket on our service desk so we could investigate. Would also like to see a customer portal service queue visibility. This is an admin feature actually, which we didn't want to feature in today's webinar. It was already quite long. So, but we have other content about the Queues app and its setup, so we can share it with you as well. How to inform customers who want to raise an issue over email but do not have an access to this project. GSD in global settings is configured only the possibility of creating issues. So in this situation, you are just blocking raising issues over email by your permission settings. I think if you need to do it, you should enable this. Does my request extension work with refined theme? Yes, it does work since 1.1.2 version, so you can use it. Yeah. Okay, I suppose that was all regarding the questions. So yeah, as I said, we'll provide you with a follow-up email tomorrow or the day after tomorrow with all the relevant links and also the recording of our today's meeting. I'd like to remind that we're blogging about ITSM tips, tricks, and business cases at divinity.com and on the Atlassian community. Technical documentation for our apps is available at divinity.com/support. You can also find us on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. Follow Divinity Apps by the links you see on the screen to track the latest news from our company and the Atlassian ecosystem. In case of inquiries regarding our products, please get in touch with the support team by emailing at support@divinity.com, dropping a line into live chat on our support webpage, or booking a live session at calendly.com/divinity. That's all for today. It was nice